Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Ami Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Ami Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here in the house, kicking off yet another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And I got to tell you, this whole national syndication thing has kind of re-energized me, you know. And I don't want to say I got burnt out, but definitely has re-energized me. Pumped even more than ever to be here, put together good radio, and stoked for everybody that's listening in, and stoked that Sports Byline brought us on and decided we were good enough to be heard around the country. But a big show lined up for you today. Man, a great show. We got, first off, we got UTV World Champ Branden Sims, my Polaris Razor teammate. He's going to be calling in here in just a few minutes, talking about the upcoming World Championship this weekend and retaining his title. We got Tyler McQuarrie, Formula Drift vet. He's dabbling in some off-road this year, stadium super trucks and some trophy trucks. We got Tyler McQuarrie on air. And then in hour number 2, along with Ami Houde, we got FMX star Kyle Demelo, Red Bull athlete. He's going to be calling in, and man, we're going to be talking some FMX. Amy's out there in SoCal backflipping, took in some Supercross, so definitely a stacked show for you. Definitely looking forward to it. Right now, we're going to cut to a short commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk some of the weekend coverage. So we'll be back after this break.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I got to tell you, I love doing radio, especially because I've got so many friends in this industry and met so many amazing people. And a lot of times when they listen in, I know a lot of them don't listen in all the time, but when they get a chance, I get text during the show, hey, talk smack to so-and-so. And as we speak, my next guest is obviously Branden Sims here in just a few minutes, but Johnny Angel from UTV Inc., a lot of you know him. He's a factory Polaris Razor driver. Also got a 6100 truck, backed by Polaris Razor. Him and Craig Scanlon, jumping into that and did pretty well in their first event out at the Parker 425. But he's talking some smack, telling Sims he's coming for the title. And I got to say, that being said, the UTV World Championship this coming weekend, it's a shootout. Absolute shootout. Just looking at this entry list, it's crazy, and bringing in the short course stuff and some of the works drivers and a lot of guys going back and forth. It was a tight, close race last year, and this year is definitely shaping up to be just nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's the easiest way to put it. It's I don't know. You've got GNCC guys, you've got Terracross guys, you've got works guys, you've got short course guys, desert guys. It's pretty wild. I mean, as much as we thought King of the Hammers was stacked entry list, it's got nothing in comparison to what we're seeing here for the event this weekend. That being said, I will be out there this weekend doing some live radio on Friday with a lot of my Polaris Razor friends and family over there, and I'll also be on the mic on Saturday on race day doing some announcing. So definitely, if you're out there, stop by, say hey, say what's up. Love to hear from you guys. And as you heard, in the commercial break, something a little bit new. Those of you who follow me on social media saw it break last week. We here at the Down and Dirty Radio Show and myself have signed a deal with Subaru. Very excited to have Subaru involved in the radio show and, involved with me personally. We got a lot of projects in and out of the rally community. We will be working on, this coming year. So definitely looking forward to that. It's, it's something we've, been talking about for a long time. And I think we finally put our heads together and came up with something that's going to work for all parties. So very excited to be involved with Subaru and definitely look for some projects going on, that we got coming up. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be a fun year. Not only we launch a national syndication, got a lot going with a lot of sponsors, and I got a few tricks up my sleeve with Polaris Razor we're working on, and so it's gonna be a fun ride. That being said, enough about me. We got to talk about this weekend. Obviously, we're gonna get into some Supercross later on in the show. Man, it was a wild one in San Diego. I guess not in the 450s though, and we'll definitely dive into this with Ami, who's in SoCal. She was out there on ground at Supercross. But man, it's just Dungey, Ryan Dungey, man. The guy is just, he is so on point. This is a different Ryan Dungey than I think we've ever seen before. The guy just absolutely annihilating everyone. I mean, it's just dominance. This is like Ryan Villapoto a couple of years dominance. It's pretty crazy to see, him step it up to such a level that I don't think that any of us ever even really knew he had. I mean, he was Mr. Consistent for so dang long, and he was always there, and, he'd win some races, and, and he just kind of sat back, let the series come to him, and guys would get hurt, and he'd win a few and take some podiums, and sooner or later the championship came, and man, this year he's out attacking, literally just attacking, he wants it, and great to see, and I think he's definitely, this year is kind of be one of those career-defining moments, I think, for Ryan Dungey, so let's hope he stays healthy to see what he can string together for the entire year. But Supercross definitely firing on all cylinders right now, and man, it's definitely an exciting year for Supercross. And then later on the show we're going to talk some World Rally Championship and a little bit of interesting note over there in Sweden. Obviously, a lot of people associate this rally with Colin's Crest. It's a big jump from the late, great Colin McRae. They kind of stamped his name on it, and the award goes to, whoever hucks it the biggest and the farthest in their rally car. But, a lot of WRC drivers, they're kind of used to racing in all conditions, right? I mean, they go back to the Safari Rally in Kenya, which was basically a desert race in rally cars, and and you've got all these different, you've got snow discipline, gravel, tarmac. They can pretty much drive in anything, right? The guys were complaining that the rally was too tough over there in Sweden, so I don't know what's up with that, but we're definitely going to dive into talking about that more later on in the show as well. Literally complaints saying it's too hard. It'll be like a desert racer saying, "Hey, we're." We don't want to race this race. It's too silty. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me, If you want to be a NASCAR guy, and God, we're definitely not going to be talking about that crap today, especially with Daytona 500 week. We are kind of the anti-NASCAR and NHRA show. Not that we don't have some respect for those guys, but I'll be like them complaining about, I don't know, man, too hot. We can't race we can't race our cars too hot today. Or, I don't know, just it's stupid. So I couldn't believe when I'm reading these Twitter messages, from these guys, from these literally some of the best drivers in the world that they didn't want to race because they thought the conditions were unsafe. I'm like, come on, man, we're race car drivers. Conditions are always unsafe. I don't know. It was just very, very bizarre. Easiest way to put it. Absolutely bizarre. So, we'll definitely dive into that, man. We're going to be all over the grid today on the show, throwing in a little FMX in hour number 2, and, maybe some special guest callers. We'll see. But as always, you got any questions for me? Got any questions for Ami Houde? Definitely tweet me at JimBeaver15. Love to hear your messages. If you if you got my cell, if you're one of the few that have my cell, definitely send me text messages like I'm getting right now from my buddy Johnny Angel. No need to look any further than Johnny Angel unless you're looking for second place. Gotta love him. One of my favorite personalities in motorsports right there. Definitely a guy you need to follow on social media because he keeps it entertaining anyways. He's a tell it like it is guy, and he's got the speed on the track to back it up. So you got to respect that. But, UTV World Championship this weekend going down in Laughlin. We will be out there Friday, like I said before, and I don't know, man. It's wild. Just it's going to be a wild one. And not only that, unlike traditional desert races, sometimes we do it two people at the same time start, which it's become, kind of a drag race start with two cars. It's not that big of a deal. We've done it so many times. This is literally like a land rush start. Line up, they've got like 4 rows and literally a grid. I'll have to look into it and see, but I think it's 10, 15, 20 guys, literally all going for the same corner at once. It's nuts, and I believe it's a dead car start. So, when you drop the green, you actually have to start your car fired up and then take off. So if it doesn't start right away, you're kind of a bit screwed. But definitely, you never know who's going to get to the first corner first. With something like that. I mean, just literally 100% luck. Car may take an extra half a second to crank, and and if it does, boom, you all of a sudden are 10 cars back. It's kind of crazy, but it's what makes it fun. And especially with the luck of the draw, I know some of them from the Parker 250 guys, were qualified into the front row or something by your finishing positions. But the guys that are just running this as a one-off, you may be one of the best drivers in the world starting in the third row, and nothing you can do about it. I know boys at Jagged X, I think, had that happen to them last year, and just had to battle through it. So definitely makes it interesting, makes it exciting, and our friends over there at UTV Underground, they are going to have you dialed in with all the coverage. Definitely go over to utvunderground.com. They'll get you dialed in, and for sure follow the Polaris Razor social media feeds because they are definitely going to be locked and loaded out there as well. But right now we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we got 2015 UTV World Champ Branden Sims on the line talking about retaining his title after this break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, my Polaris Razor teammate and the 2015 UTV World Champ, Branden Sims. How's everything going, Branden?
Everything's going great, buddy.
Well, I got to say, man, 2015 was a heck of a year for you, and then rolling into 2016, I mean, came out firing. First off, we'll talk about last year, but you're just freshly coming off, the King of the Hammers event. You had a heck of a run there. Finished up in second. I got to say, I know you wanted to win, but finishing second at King of the Hammers, dude, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, that race was great. It's the second time I've actually finished second at the King of the Hammers. This time it's a little bit different, seeing that I started in 37th place, and I think we raced against, 60 other competitors. So not only was it a terrible starting position for that race, but, the amount of participants was just so much more greater than any other year.
Yeah, well, and not only the amount of participants, but the quality. Obviously you got, reigning king Mitch Guthrie and, and a lot of regulars like yourself. I know Sarah Price jumping in, coming over from the short course side of things. But, Rob McCachran, Robbie Gordon, it was a stacked field, dude.
Yeah, they definitely pulled out all the big names and sure brought them in, made that class, a lot of people recognize it a lot more, and everybody started looking at it and watching a little bit more, which made it nice. When I was talking to Dave Cole about it, he said, we're going to bring Robbie Gordon and Rob Mack into this, and it should, it just should help everything, the people watching, let everybody know that the UTVs are a class to be watched, and it's amazing what they can do out there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and how do you adjust for an event like that? You do some Terracross stuff. I know you've done a little works racing. Obviously, you made a name for yourself running the desert stuff. But how was the adjustment going to the rocks and in that at King of the Hammers?
Well, fortunately, I grew up around my dad, and he was really into the rock crawling scene. He had built a few rock crawlers, a few tube buggies, so a lot of the times I went out with my dad and did, the extreme rock crawling here in Arizona that we have, and I was very comfortable with it. I grew up four-wheeling a lot, and I really enjoyed that part of my life was the off-road and the rock crawling stuff that we did. So when the King of the Hammers came about and, the UTV class was created, I had already enjoyed the desert. I knew I was good in the desert, and I said, well, you know what, I really enjoy playing in the rocks, and I'm on the rocks as well, so I don't see how this event could be, any more perfect for me. The desert section that you do for about 60, 70 miles, and then the rock sections that you do for, 20, 30 miles. So I feel very confident and comfortable going into these races, at least the King of the Hammers race, just because of my past with my dad rock crawling and the desert racing that I do.
Yeah. Well, talking about the desert racing side of things, I know last year, I believe it was the first year you got picked up as a factory Polaris driver. Right out of the box, taking home the UTV World Championship. I think at that time that was, your first desert win. That had to have been pretty huge.
Yeah, definitely. That was my first, by myself desert win. The year before that, 2014, I was part of Johnny Angel's team on the Baja 1000, and I ran, I think him and I did the most miles that year, and we won the 1000 that year. But yeah, as far as my first win was last year at the UTV World Championship. So yeah, it couldn't have come at a better time, and it's just a great feeling to get that name right off the bat. The first one of the year, or the first one ever, and I was able to get it.
Yeah, well, coming into this year, obviously, you got to defend the desert title. From what I understand, you're actually going to run a couple of different events, right? How is this event? It's kind of a merging of short course and desert. It's short loops. Probably similar to what we do at the Blue Water Desert Challenge. How do you adjust your driving style? I know, it's pretty much you can't let up at this event, or it's just pretty much balls to the wall from the beginning.
Oh, yeah, exactly, especially straight from the start. We're going to line up in rows of 10 to 15 in each row, and as soon as that green flag drops, each row is fighting for position, and they want to be the first one to that first corner, and then the first one out of that corner. So, we're going to funnel, 10 to 15 race cars into a corner that fits two, and, from that point on, it's an all-out battle because, with 17, I want to say they're 14-mile laps. With that many cars out on the track, we're going to be dealing with lap traffic. We're going to be, it's just going to be so crazy out there with the amount of talent that's coming to this race, and you can't have one failure. You can't, it's going to be, you're going to have a perfect day, and you're going to have to be on top of you're going to have to be on your A game all day just to make sure that everything's perfect and that you're running it hard, because somebody else is going to be running it hard. And if you're not, they're going to, they'll beat you.
Yeah, well, and to be honest with you, it seems like UTV racing in the desert in general is become that. It's so intense. I mean, I've told people, I'm like, you want to watch some races that are literally determined by seconds. I mean, you watch the Pro UTV and now Pro Turbo, and I mean, you guys are pushing so ridiculously hard. It's just crazy.
It is, and it's coming down to like you're saying, seconds is separating, first, second, and third sometimes. It's crazy.
All right, so changing gears a bit, let's talk a little bit about Terracross. I know you've been doing that for a while. It took a podium last year. I mean, that's a series. I know me as a desert guy, I was just struggling to figure it out last year. It seems like you've got a pretty good handle on it.
Yeah, with the Terracross, I've always enjoyed that style of racing where we're just battling from start to finish. Rubbing tires. And I look at that series, to me, as it benefits my driving in the desert. It helps me be aggressive. The amount of talent that comes to the Terracross races, being basically an invite only or that's about the only way to get into it. It just, the amount of talent that we race against is so high. So I feel like the only way to get better in racing is to battle against people that are, as good, if not better than you. So when I'm Terracross racing, I learn a lot, and I watch other drivers, and I get an idea of, what lines they're taking to see which way's quicker. So the Terracross, I feel, has helped me a lot throughout my entire racing, whether it's works, whether it's short course, desert, whether it's full-on, 600-mile desert races. But just, the amount of that I learn in Terracross just seems to help, and I've been able to grasp it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I know, Terracross, we're running pretty much stock razors and kind of showcase the capability of them. But, Best in the Desert, you've been around, sported desert UTV racing for a while now. And, the builds are getting just absolutely insane. I mean, I've always liked your builds, because some of these guys are going so far out in left field. It's just radical, the designs they're coming up with. And you've been highly successful with really nice cars that kind of keep things simple. And, kind of talk about the builds. I mean, because you've seen it evolve pretty crazy the past couple of years.
Oh, I have, and what I've always learned, whether it was in school or from my dad, I always remember the KISS method, and that was always keep it simple, stupid, All these teams are, not all of them, but there's so many teams out there that are going out, and I feel like they're reinventing the wheel, I know Polaris and these other manufacturers have spent, millions of dollars paying their engineers to design a quality product. And then you've got all these other people going out, and they're basically changing everything that these engineers have designed that's working great, and they have issues, And basically, I use a stock car, and I put the safety requirements on it to get through tech, and mess with the suspension a little bit as far as making a stronger base to start with. And I don't change much. I leave the engine stock. I try to leave as much of it stock because it works well. It's just, I don't feel like you're going to benefit much by adding a bunch of weight, changing everything. It just seems like the Polaris, has got it figured out pretty well from the start.
Yeah. Well, and how about this new turbo platform? I know, working with Polaris last year, early fall, I got my first chance to drive one of the turbos, and I'd spent all my time in an XP1000, and probably similar to you, and I drove that turbo, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was just crazy what 40 some extra horsepower will do.
Yeah, that turbo sure does add a whole bunch more fun factor to it. As soon as I got in it, I wasn't sure what to expect, and then once I accelerated the first time and it just broke the rear tires loose, I was like, wow, this is impressive now. And not only just the power that they increased on the turbos, the drivetrain, the drive shaft, the axles, the CVs, the other items that they've increased to make these turbo platforms the best to start with and the best to build. They've sure upgraded it, and the amount of power is just so impressive. It sure does make my I get a smile on my face every time I drive it.
Yeah, for sure. Same here. So, talking about 2016, obviously we got UTV World Championship coming up this weekend. Past that, I know you're doing full Best in the Desert series. I mean, what are the plans? Do we have Terracross? I've heard maybe GNCC, correct? I mean, what's the plans for you?
I was doing some talking with some GNCC, and my schedule became so booked that it wasn't feasible for me to be able to run my desert program, which is my important one to me, is my desert. I didn't want to take away from my performance there, so I went to strictly doing Best in the Deserts full season. I think we're going to do the Baja 500, the Baja 1000, and if Terracross comes around and it works out in my favor, then I'll also add that to the program as well, because I enjoy doing that racing because it's fun, and I get to travel a little bit, and it's relatively stress-free, so it makes it kind of nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice just being able to fly in and drive and fly out, you know?
Yeah, because, no other racing I get to do that. I know, everything else on my desert program, I basically work on my cars 24/7, and I don't get much time to enjoy anything. When we do Terracross, I get to hang out with friends and mingle, and I don't have to worry about working on the car when I get out of it. So I really do enjoy doing the Terracross. And there's a bunch of good people, I enjoy talking to them, the promoters, the other racers, so that's, what I enjoy about Terracross.
Well, we're kind of running short on time, but I appreciate you taking the time, Branden, and, definitely good luck this weekend at the UTV World Championship. I know I'll be out there. We'll see you out there. Hopefully you can, bring home another title.
Yes, sir, and I'll be racing both races in that. So I'll be racing the short course and the desert, so I'll be running two different cars that week. I'll get out of the desert car, hop into the short course car, and hopefully win too. So I wouldn't mind getting first in both races. So I'm going to see what I can do.
Thanks a lot, my friend, and we'll talk soon. And we will be back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, after this break. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The hotel is waiting, and your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's Spring Room Special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability, tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, a guy that eats, sleeps, breathes action motorsports, a Formula Drift driver, now trying his hand at off-road racing, Tyler McQuarrie. How's everything going, Tyler?
It's going awesome, man. I really appreciate you having me on. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm stoked. I know something we've been, it's a long time in the making. I know last year, I've been doing Formula Drift coverage for a couple of years, kind of got a formal relationship with them last year, and, you're a guy I definitely wanted to get dialed in, but now, you're doing some off-road stuff and the FD stuff. I'm like, man, we got to reach out to him and get him on air. So that being said, I know you were out testing some trophy trucks. I mean, the first thing we got to talk about, you're inked to do some desert races this year.
Yeah, I've always been the type of driver that will, if it's got four wheels on it, I'll race it. I've done NASCAR stuff, sprint cars, road racing, and obviously the drift. And, this opportunity came up to jump in a trophy truck. And I was like, man, that's like, it's pretty hard to even get in a trophy truck for, and I felt kind of crazy when we were out there testing. I'm like, there's so many people out here that had been working so long and studying the craft of off-road racing that would kill to get in this trophy truck, and here I am, total rookie out here in a trophy truck. But, it's always been a desire of mine to get into off-road. I think it kind of blends to my road racing background and the drifting and just the car control and all that kind of stuff. And, this opportunity with CLP Motorsports came up to be part of this trophy truck program, which is unique in itself. We're going to be running a 3-liter eco diesel motor for the 500, for the Baja 500 and the Baja 1000. So, we were out in Parker testing the trophy truck and just, getting some seat time out there. And there's going to be a lot of development going on behind, the whole diesel program and with using next-gen fuel. So part of that development is going down to San Felipe and running the 250 just to get used to the truck and get the truck dialed in while we're still doing development on the diesel program. So that is very exciting to be part of something that is unique, like, running the next gen. It's all renewable diesel fuel. And we're going to try our hands at doing something a little bit different for the 1000 and it's minimizing pit stops. The truck will be able to go almost 400 miles on a tank of fuel.
Wow.
So that is going to be kind of our storyline. Can we get the truck to last that long in between pit stops? Especially, the biggest weak link I think is going to be the tires. Will the tires last? So tire management's going to be a big role in that, which is different than other teams have to deal with. But I think if we can minimize some stops, we'll be able to leapfrog some stuff using the next-gen renewable fuel. So that's pretty exciting. And then I'm also running in Robbie Gordon's Stadium Super Truck Series, too, to add some more trucks to it. And I definitely think that one really fits my mold, as far as road racing and drifting and car control and just my racecraft that I have, throughout the years. So I'll be running all the U.S. rounds of that in addition to doing Formula Drift. And then I'm also running with CJ Wilson Racing in IMSA. We're running a Porsche GT4 Cayman in that. And we're also running Pirelli World Challenge at Lamborghini Gallardo in that. So my plate is extremely full and doing all different stuff. And it's something that I've always had a lot of pride in, with just being a multifaceted driver and driving in different disciplines. And I think as a driver, it's challenging to go out and, whether you're racing a trophy truck one weekend or drift or Porsche and sports cars, flipping that switch and adjusting your driving style for whatever car you're in. And for me personally, it's, as a driver, you're manipulating that machine to do what you want. Whether it's off-road or drift or road racing, you're obviously wanting to do different things. So it's a challenge, and I'm super excited and can't wait to just take on this year. And it's going to be a busy one for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it going, what have we left out here? I think aside from rally, you've pretty much got everything nailed down that you're going to be doing. It's just, to me, is there any weekends you're going to have off? That's a crazy schedule.
it is a crazy schedule, and I have 3 kids, and I'm married, and and I talked to my wife before all this was going down, as we kind of planned it. I'm like, are you still down with this? Like, this is totally crazy. Like, I'm gonna be gone a lot. And she's like, no, I think it'll be awesome. Like, we're gonna take the motorhome this summer and do like a month and a half, 2-month long, road trip with the kids, and I think I personally think that is going to be so awesome, to be able to take my kids around the country and see all kinds of stuff. And so it's a double-edged sword. I'm going to be gone a lot, but it also brings up a lot of opportunities like that to take my family around with me. And I think that's the one thing I really like about the off-road scene is that, there's a lot of people out there at motorhomes that has their family out there, so it's definitely family-oriented. And so I think that's going to be pretty cool. There's not a lot of off weekends. There's definitely a couple of conflicts, and so like the Baja 500, like that is going to be a crazy, crazy weekend because it's the same weekend as the Detroit Stadium Super Truck. So myself and the other driver on the CLP team, Pat O'Keefe, we're going to be flying back and forth with Robbie Gordon from the Baja 500 to Detroit, back on his plane, back and forth all weekend, doing double duty. But it's the same weekend as Formula D Florida, so I have to have a sub driver come in and substitute for me there. So I'm going to have to miss a couple of Formula D events, which is the first in my 12-year Formula D career that I'll miss, that I won't be doing every round. But I think this is just it's a cool spot in my career, I mean, I think it's a perfect time for it, and super, super excited. But I can't wait for these double duty weekends. I just think it's going to be so much fun and a good story, and I'll definitely have my GoPro filming it all. Yeah,
I was going to say, I mean, that's definitely something you got to document. I mean, and I think, you go back to, drivers like yourself going to be doing that. And I know Robbie now is started double dip, but I go back to, the Indy 500, Coke 600, and how they'd always document the guys doing double duty. And I thought that was, the coolest story of the whole thing was just how they're getting back and forth between the two. So you definitely got to be filming that for a YouTube video or something, just so we can see how you bounce back and forth,
Oh, yeah. The logistics behind a race team, just normally for a normal weekend, is so intense. And a lot of people don't understand all the moving parts and stuff like that. But when you have 2 separate races, the additional logistics that's involved with that is just pretty insane. And luckily, and I'm fortunate enough to be surrounded by a lot of good people that can help make it happen, because it's going to be tricky going from the Baja 500 to Detroit. It's not like it's a short trip, so it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Well, and talking about that, I mean, I know you said this is the first time in over a decade you haven't run the full FD series. I mean, you're one of the OG guys, and you kind of feel like, I mean, I look at you and I see Vaughn doing that and went out and did King of the Hammers, and I think he's trying his hand at a few different things here and there. I mean, do you feel like the series? I mean, it's grown so much and it's blown up, but you just feel like you're at a point in your career where you want to take on some other stuff. I mean, you've been doing drifting for so long. It's kind of a bit of a fresh, breath of fresh air to try something else. Not to say that you're tired of drifting. It's just, you feel like, you want to open your wings a bit.
I mean, through the years, I mean, my background's road racing, and then, drifting kind of fell in my lap. So I've always considered myself a road racer that drifts. And through the years, I've always had, select racing stuff, but I've always put a priority on drift just because, the sport was growing so fast, and, it was a good series to be involved in, and still is, I mean, so, these opportunities have come up, and it's definitely, like you said, like, I love drifting. It's a great sport. The fans are insane. They're just so dedicated to the sport. But I think it's important as a driver to do different stuff because, when you back yourself into a corner in one discipline, you limit yourself, And so I think, and I've always told guys, like Vaughn and those guys, that they should be out doing anything if an opportunity comes up. They should be jumping at it. So, this came up, and, like you said, I'm one of the OGs in drifting, and, I'm not sure how many more years I have left in drift. I can always do it, but it's just I'm 37, it's definitely a younger demographic over there, so it's something you got to consider, and that's definitely why I started my own team. You can't drive forever, but I think a driver's life span is much longer in off-road and road racing than it would be in drift, and so that's just something I'm planning for. I got a family to support and all that stuff, so you got to think about that, be realistic, and that's kind of where I'm at in my career. I see maybe a couple years left in drift and these other opportunities that could, go much longer.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I know, obviously you guys are just literally at San Felipe a couple of weeks out. I mean, that's coming up real quick. So, what do preparations look like, for that at this point? I mean, where are you guys at, especially, having just had the truck out at Parker?
Yeah, so we have it back at CLP Motorsports. It's doing its normal prep, going, getting all the Heims changed, the transmission gone through the rear end. And so it's literally torn apart right now. We're probably going to go test next Thursday and hopefully leave here on Saturday. So just a little over a week, we're going to be leaving and go pre-run San Felipe, I think starting on like the 21st or 22nd or something like that. So we'll be down there for a while. And it's, I do a bunch of commercial stuff too for car commercials. So I got a car commercial starting on Sunday, the day after San Felipe. So I got to take a helicopter from San Felipe to LA to start working on a car commercial there. So it's, I need to stop somewhere because I'm going to be in a high-speed wobble with all this. I need to be able to say no to this stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking Tyler McQuarrie needs a reality series for this year. I mean, seriously, it's just a camera following you the whole time. I mean, it's crazy. But props to you for putting it together. I mean, a lot of guys have a hard time putting one campaign together. I mean, you've been blessed with a ton of opportunities to go out and do quite a few of them. I mean, it's definitely going to be a special year.
And that's exactly it. I've been in that position where you have a lot of downtime and stuff isn't going your way. And so it's like when this stuff comes your way, you got to just grab it and take advantage of it. And that's the situation I'm in right now. I'm extremely fortunate to have all these opportunities. And that's why I just can't say no to anything and just got to take it all. And, luckily through the years, it hasn't really affected my programs for running different disciplines and stuff. And I think I'm just kind of used to it, but hopefully this year is successful for everybody, at CLP Motorsports with the off-road program and the Stadium Super Truck stuff. And, with my Formula D program, hopefully it's, continuing on and going to be successful like it has in the years past. And the road racing with CJ Wilson is, those guys, that team is just awesome. So looking forward to jumping in that Porsche with them.
Yeah, for sure. Top-notch program there. Well, we're running short on time, my friend, but I appreciate you taking the time to call in. And, man, good luck this year. We'll definitely be keeping tabs. I think it'll be fun here in a couple of months to catch up with you, and kind of see how things are going. Yeah, no, I would love to catch up again. I appreciate you having me on the show. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tyler. Great catching up with Tyler McQuarrie, a guy who's literally is all over the place. Stadium Super Trucks, Desert, IMSA, Formula D, can't forget that. I mean, he's one of the OGs there. Going to be a great year for him. That being said, man, we're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have a Dirtfish Rally Report. We're going to be talking some WRC Sweden after the break. Stay tuned, and we got you locked and loaded for yet another hour here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like sound bars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The hotel is waiting, and your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Man, Tyler McQuarrie, Branden Sims rocking and rolling through hour number 1. And that leaves us right now with our Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Find out more information on the web, www.dirtfish.com. And be sure and tell them, Jim Beaver sent you over there. Got some coupon codes floating around for some discounts there. But always fun getting up there to Dirtfish. But even more fun, World Rally Championship Sweden. WRC in full swing now, a couple of rounds deep. In WRC Sweden, pretty much same as every other rally with the finishing position. So, we're Sebastian Ogier, taking home the win yet again. You got Padden, Osberg, Mikkelsen, Tanak, Sordo, Solberg, Breen, Evans. That was your top 9. Sunanen, rounded out your top 10. So, no surprises there. Another rally. What the exciting news is, though, is, the shenanigans that ensued with this, it had snow there, and it's traditionally a snow rally, and then the snow melted, and, guys had studs and crying, it's going to chew up our tires and this and that, and I don't know, man. It just, whatever. The rally ended up going on. I know they, delayed some stages, didn't run second passes of this or that, and, I mean, it went on, old rally term, push on regardless, right? Or press on regardless. But, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. To me, it was a little wonky, the guys doing that. It's like the rally drivers that complain about dust. Seriously? Come run a desert race. You ain't going to complain about dust. Oh, my gosh, you got within 20 seconds of the car in front of you. Welcome to my world, man. I live in the dust. So there you go. My rant on WRC Sweden. But, it was anyways, it was a good event. Sebastian just blowing everybody's doors off yet again this year. But we're going to take a short break. That was your Dirtfish Rally Report, by the way. And when we come back, hour number 2 kicking off. We got Ami Houde, Kyle DeMello, a whole lot more coming at you.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, it's been a great one so far. Branden Sims, Tyler McQuarrie, and, like we said, man, Tyler McQuarrie, I don't know if there's anybody in any form of motorsports doing as much as he is this year. That's, like I said, he needs a reality series to follow him around. I would tune into that. There's enough crap reality on TV as it is. I think Tyler McQuarrie, throw a camera crew following him. That's legit. I would watch that, No more housewives, and all that garbage. And sad I even know the names of that. But, it's all over my DVR. Got a wife and daughter. They like that stuff. And I don't know. I'll own up. I've watched it a time or two. And it's crap. But there you go. Tyler McQuarrie, I don't know. We need a GoFundMe to get a reality series following him this year. I think that would be legit. That's that's something I can get behind right there. Hour number 2, we're going to be talking a ton of Supercross. And Kyle Demelo, Red Bull FMXer, he's going to be on the line. We're going to be talking about him trying to, as a Canadian, trying to get into X Games. He's had a bit of a struggle, but he's trying to overcome it and, make the best of things. And, he's trying to, punch his way in and, and eventually get that ever coveted gold medal. So, check out his Instagram feed, man. He just absolutely kills it. The extension he gets on some of these tricks, I don't see anybody else doing that. Just nutty, man. It's like gymnastics in the air now, and FMX has been taken to such an extreme level. And so why you got guys like the OGs like Ronnie Feist and Brian Deegan's going, man, I'm glad that I was in it when I was, and I'm retired and out of that now, because no way I want to do what these guys are doing. And I can completely understand and agree with that. That is definitely for certain, man. FMX has gone to another level, and what X Fighters is doing, and wall rides, and it's like full on skate park on your dirt bike now. It's it's getting insane. So we're definitely going to break down that with Kyle Demelo, and then Ami Houde out at Supercross. We're going to be talking that later on in hour 2 as well. You got any questions for Ami or myself? At JimBeaver15, at Ami Houde 71. Tweet me, follow me, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Just give me your questions. We love those fan questions. Love the submissions. At JimBeaver15, I will definitely get them on and get them asked to Kyle and Ami if you guys hit me up. So definitely shoot those over, and we will get you guys dialed in on air. Maybe even give your Twitter handle or Instagram handle a shout-out. So, never know. So we'll be back after this break. Ami Houde will be on the line on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here in the house, taking a little breather there during the commercial break. But, man, we got, a great hour number 2 stacked up. Kyle Demelo on the line. Ami Houde, Supercross. Probably talk a little bit about Amy's ride day. She was out there in SoCal and taking it all in. Maybe a couple of surprise guest callers. I don't know. We'll see. See what Ami Houde's got up her sleeve. I know, she's always got something up her sleeve. You just never can tell. Sometimes, following her on social media, things can get a little out of hand at times, and generally that is what happens. So, I know she's out. I think she's going to be hitting up some foam pits this weekend, kind of trying to perfect her backflip skills. She went over to Pastrana's last year and was able to do a bit of flipping, and sounds like she's going to try and get them dialed in out in SoCal this week. In the good weather. I think she got some photo shoots as well. So, definitely going to be a good one. We get to call her right now. We'll see who is on the line. Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. What's happening, Amy?
What's up, Jim? How's it going?
Going well. I didn't recognize the call-in number. You're throwing me for a loop, Hood.
I'm in America, so I'm calling you from an American phone,
Oh, come on now. I thought you were baller status and, had the global phone or something.
I'm not that baller.
Not that baller. You still got to pay the phone bill, right? Yeah. So what's the word out there, Hood? I know you're in SoCal, soaking up the sunshine. I know we're going to talk some Supercross in a bit, but you've had a full slate of stuff up your sleeve this week.
Yeah, it was awesome. Honestly, one of the funnest weeks ever. We talked about last week and the week before, leading up to my girls' ride day, which was a huge success. I had so much fun. There was so many girls came over, all different ages and riding levels, and it was honestly, it was like I couldn't have asked for a better event. Everybody left smiling and having fun, and I actually left with a whole bunch of more new friends again. We just went out for dinner with a couple new girls that I met. So, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, bringing the girls together, all different ages and riding levels. We kind of partnered everybody up. The younger girls got a chance to ride with some of the bigger girls. They each left with a whole bunch of swag, photos, and just memories, and, again, new friends. And even I left with new friends, so I can't complain. way.
Well, I thought it was cool. I mean, you had such a good mix. I mean, and you had a lot of pro-level girls. Obviously, I know Sarah, our good friend Sarah Price was out there. Vicky Golden, Van Dypen was out there. I mean, you had some legit riders out there.
It was awesome, and it was really fun because all of us pro girls went out on the bigger track, and we just threw down some like hardcore motos, and it was a blast. And all the girls were saying they haven't had that much fun riding together in so long. Like we were all like blasting each other's in the berms and trying to take each other out and just having a good time. And then we'd pull off and just start laughing. Like it was such a great environment, and everyone had a blast. So
that's what it should be. It ought to just be going out and having fun. And it sounds like that's what you guys did. And I think it needs to happen more often. It seems like. Sometimes when I go out and, and just go out and drive the Razor, I have more fun, it seems like, you go to a race and there's such a high level of stress and everything else. And, it's fun just to go out and ride. That's like what got us all started, right?
Exactly. And that's what we talked about when we did a riders meeting. I kind of opened it up where, we're all here. We're on different levels. Some of us have new bikes. Some of us have old bikes. But, that doesn't matter. Leave all that drama at the gate. Like, we're here to have a good time. And, we're brought together because we're a bunch of girls who love riding dirt bikes. And I think it really set the tone for the day where everyone just was very opening and welcoming and walking up to new people that maybe they'd never met before and introducing themselves. And it was just such a close-knit community. It was really cool. So It was so cool to all the little girls together.
Yeah. Hey, we got a caller in. Is this who I think it is?
It sure is. So I've teamed up with Anthony Beef and Zoom Toy Company, and Anthony's going to come in today and tell us a little bit about what's going on with that. And, he's calling in right now.
Hey, how's everything going, Anthony?
Hey, I'm well, guys. How are you?
Good, my friend. Well, welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And, Amy and I she's my co-host, partner in crime. She's kind of brought me in the loop the past month or so on what you guys got going, and I know you guys trying to raise some funds. So we, had a few minutes here. We got about 5 minutes. So give us the spiel on what you guys got going on because these toys look pretty rad.
Well, I appreciate that, and just for the record, you couldn't have a better partner in crime. She's all aces in my book. So, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy, for all the hard work you've done and everything you've done for us. I appreciate that. You've been wonderful. So the point of this is what we're doing is this toy was originally introduced in the early 70s and late 80s under Evel Knievel, which everybody who's ever even seen a motorcycle knows who Evel Knievel is. And it was one of the best-selling toys for the Ideal Toy Company for almost a decade. And there's actually a pretty decent following with this toy for guys that are that have played with it that are my age or a little older. And we came out with a re-engineered version of this toy that is it's just superior in every way. We took full advantage of the modern technologies and what have you. And we're getting extreme jumps and extreme distance. I got a 7-inch toy that can easily jump over 3 full-size cars, and the demonstration videos show that. So we wanted to bring this to market, and we're doing it through a crowdfunding campaign. But we needed somebody awesome. So when I Googled awesome in motorcycle, Amy came up, and I reached out to Amy and asked her if she'd want to be a part of it, and kind of let her know our situation and what we were doing. And she was gracious enough to lend her awesomeness to us, and so we're just kind of moving forward from there. We did get involved with a couple of different charities. One's a really great breast cancer foundation, and then we just signed a deal where we're working with the Toys for Tots. So now we're officially doing a toy run for the Toys for Tots to try to pre-sell 10,000 units for this Christmas.
Okay.
And every toy that's donated will go in the person who buys it will get their donation made in their name. So we're passing this through. We're not keeping the donation. We're just we're happy to be working with them, and we're happy to send the toys out. So that's kind of the mile high view of it.
Yeah. Dang, Hood, you're gonna be jumping like 4 or 5 cars. You ever think you're gonna be doing that?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Hey, you never know. Over in my freestyle motocross career that I'm clearly trying to attack.
You never know, right? So anybody, Yeah, Anthony, anybody that wants to get involved in this, what's the best way that they can go and find out more information and support this?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. Rather than just give you a long Indiegogo campaign site name, I got a forwarding address. If you go to www.ssbbtoy.com, so Super Stunt Dirt Bike Toy, ssbbtoy.com, it'll take you right there, and you get the first thing you see is Amy's beautiful smile. So, and one other thing, we haven't announced it yet. We can't release the name of it, but we are going to be combining the two charities, the Toys for Tots, with another charity that takes shelter dogs and it brings them in and trains them to be service dogs for PTSD soldiers that are suffering from PTSD. So we're going to be not only are we going to be able to donate a toy and make a child smile, but out of one donation, we're going to save 2 lives. So it's a pretty awesome thing.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely cool that you're bringing this to market. You got some good causes behind you.
Yeah, I'm excited too to be a part of this. Just the fact that the proceeds are going to the World Motorsports Breast Cancer Foundation, which is a really close charity to my heart. I have a lot of people in my family and friends, close friends, and people I went to school with, which is really, really sad. Been affected by cancer. So I'm really excited to be on board with this. And Anthony, I can't thank you enough for having me, be the leading lady. I'm excited. It's just something different. It's something cool I can add to my resume. That I'm like, I'm a little toy action figure. Yeah. Nice. Cool.
Well, trust me, we're more happy to have you than you are us, I assure you. So it's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Tony. I appreciate you taking the time. We got to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have Ami Houde and Kyle Demelo on the line talking some FMX here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports. Beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems, KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Hanging out here with Jim Beaver, Ami Houde, and, man, it's a great hour number one, and we're a little bit into hour number two here. We got Ami Houde on the line with Red Bull FMXer Kyle Demelo. How's everything going, Ami?
Hey, yeah, what's up? We're doing good. I'm hanging out with my Canadian friend. Yes, I found another Canadian down here in SoCal. It's super funny. But yeah, I wanted to bring him on. He's working on winning that World Freestyle Motocross Championship this year, and he has lots of cool projects. And it's really cool to see another successful Canadian that's kind of, I'd like to say you're a little bit underground. I mean, if people really knew the kind of stuff that you're doing, like even looking at your Instagram, like I'm blown away by the fact that you haven't quite blown up yet. But it's just a matter of time, honestly. This guy does some crazy, crazy stuff. But Kyle, what's up? You're here with me. What's going on?
Well, I just like to say thanks for bringing me on this radio show today. Pretty excited to be here and chat with everyone. But I've just been down here in California for the last since Christmas here, and just trying to get back on the bike. I had a pretty good injury back in June, and it set me off my whole summer and fall. Just spent it all in rehab. But now I'm pretty excited to be back with everyone and get back in the groove riding and just move on to some big projects this year.
So you crashed in Mexico City, and I mean, this wasn't just a little crash. It was pretty gnarly. Like, tell us about it. What happened?
Yeah, well, we were at a contest down there in Mexico City, and if anyone knows about bikes or motors in general, like, the elevation's like 9,000 feet, so the bikes did not run good.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was struggling through practice, and I got through it, and I made it into my semifinal run, and I slipped out on one of my backflip tricks and put myself in the ER. I ended up breaking my right scapula 4 places, 4 ribs, and split my right lung in half. It was not fun at all.
Jeez, that does not sound fun. But so what do you like a little bit about California? I mean, you're from DC, so it's not a long trek to kind of migrate down here. But why do you come down south in the winter? What's your program down here like?
Mostly my reasons for coming down here is just to stay on the bike, familiar with the machine, and just keep progressing my riding and myself in the sport, and try to become one of the top 10 competitors in the world. I really try to chase that overall world championship title.
That's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Well,
Jim, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just I look at your Instagram and, dude, I mean, I follow a lot of guys, FMXers, and you've got style for miles, dude. It's
I know,
it's crazy. I mean, there's guys that can do heart attacks, but and things like that. But dude, your extension and just the style and flavor you put into it is pretty rad. I mean, I honestly I haven't seen anything like it before. It's cool.
I really just try to look up the snowboarders, because snowboarders have the easiest style, and I've always liked their style and how they are so floaty on all their tricks. So I was like, okay, I got to adapt this for motocross. And it took me a while, but now I'm starting to figure it all out, and it's starting to stand out. I'm definitely starting to stand up from the crowd.
Well, and it was like me. I mean, I come, I've ridden dirt bikes, never, anything like FMX or Supercross. It was a lot of desert and trail riding and stuff. But like I come from the VMX community, and I used to dirt jump and ride ramps and stuff.
You did?
Me?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I used to dirt jump and ride ramps, and yeah, I got all kinds of pictures I'll have to show you at some point. I was never any good, never anything past amateur, but I did ride in some contests and things. But like to me, there was always guys that were. There was guys that, would just do one big trick and had a ton of style. And then there was guys, we used to call it karate, and it was like they'd try and throw like 5 different, kicks and, and stuff like that into one. And it just looked like crap. I'd rather just see one big stylish, move than, you throw in 3 or 4 different, can this and that and take your hand, to me, like you lose me there. It's like, just throw a big stylish trick,
Yeah. For sure. And I think the biggest thing, because when I was younger, I was always like that. Like, the more I could fit in, the better it was. But everyone told me to slow down. So as soon as I went to taught myself how to slow down and make everything look cool, and then it's really started helping me out.
Yeah. I mean, how is it? I mean, and we've talked about it, and even talking with, Ronnie Feist and some of those guys, like, the progression of FMX is just through the roof. And, there's, to me, you guys, the limits you guys are pushing is nuts. I mean, even when you guys are training in a foam pit, I mean, foam pits aren't exactly nice to land into, when you're talking upside down and things like that. I mean, what kind of wear and tear has it got on your body?
Man, like, honestly, foam pits beat you up physically and mentally. That's for damn sure.
I hear you on that one.
Like, I was just in it just actually mid last week, and I only got a good 4 jumps in, and I with my knee braces on, I smashed my knees on the bars, and I couldn't even walk, and bruises on my thighs and my hands, and everything was just, it was just a mess. Yeah. But it's just mentally draining. Like, when it feels like you're going nowhere. It feels like you're no progress, and everything takes forever. And, like, I was always a kid when I was younger, I caught on everything super fast. Like, within 5 tries, I had it. And now with the sport, if you see some of the stuff they're doing, it's so technical and it's so high risk. You have to really understand and figure it out. And it's scary now. Like, it scares the hell out of me.
And you think those injuries don't really do a lot for the mental game either, coming back from something like that? Like, does that completely maybe set you back a little bit on having the confidence to go out there?
For sure. When I first got on the bike, like, this was my first big injury in the sport, so this was really going to test me, and I definitely did a lot of, like, mental training with sports psychology through the summer to help me when I get back on riding. I'm not a mess, and it's definitely helped. But when I first got on the bike, I was definitely very timid, and then now the more confidence you build, and the more comfortable you get on the machine, you can start pushing yourself more and more. So it's starting to come back.
Yeah. Well, how has it been? I mean, to me, you look at, like, I mean, FMX, there's a lot of guys and, like you that are there. And I mean, I think, trick wise, I mean, your stuff is as good as anybody in the world, but, it seems like X Games and ESPN and these big contests, it's like they've got these old name brands, and they keep wanting to push them, and guys that maybe aren't so much pushing the limits. And I see what Pastrana's got going with his new Nitro Circus games, and I applaud it, but, how has it been for you? I mean, pushing through, because it seems like there's a barrier there, and it's like, it doesn't matter how good you are, it's all about name value, you know what I mean? I mean, how has that, the progression for you been into the sport,
For sure, it is very hard, because, like, with X Games these days, and X Games is like the icon of the sport, the pinnacle of our sport, where everyone wants to be. And with X Games being so, like, I don't know how to say it, but it's so hard for them, because they want to see, like, the biggest and the best stuff, but they also want to sell their tickets and become more, keep bringing people, viewers to them. So it's so hard putting me up against, okay, I'm going to sell maybe 200 tickets when Travis Pastrana is going to sell 2 million tickets.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard for them to justify and who to bring in, who not to bring in.
Yeah.
But there's definitely events that, like, now I'm starting to, like, get into the World Championships across Europe and Australia. And it's definitely going to help build myself and my brand, and I'll definitely be getting into, like, X Fighters and X Games a lot easier, going through all that.
Yeah. Well, and that being said, I mean, I've seen this sport evolve. I mean, there's only so much you can do off of a steel ramp onto a landing. I mean, now, especially with X Fighters, they've been really out of the box and bringing in wall rides. And I know, I think there was one, was it in Greece? I don't know. Renner was posting up some pictures, and it was just insane. It was like 3 different levels, of riding. And I know they've done something over water now. And I mean, how has that been transitioning into some of the shenanigans that is now part of FMX,
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like, the course layout, like we said, with, like, in Athens and being in Germany over the water, like, that's just one thing. It's pretty much essentially the same thing you practice on every day. It's just now it's just starting to go up a canyon wall or a mine wall or on a floating on a deck in the pond. But the biggest thing is just now all the new ramps are bringing in. Like, now they got quarter pipes, like you said, wall rides and double flip ramps and all these other crazy things that you have to really step your game up and try to pick yourself out of the crowd, because everyone goes up there and hits just a normal comp ramp, but now all of a sudden when you're hitting a quarter pipe, it's just you want to stand out from the crowd, right? You want to try to be like the 5 people that actually use everything to their advantage, and it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, well, I can only imagine. You've been training on certain ramps for so long, and now it's all of a sudden, we're going to throw a wrench in it. You got to relearn, all this stuff on this different ramp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, on a different ramp, learn everything all over again.
Yeah.
And it's what's that?
Oh, nothing. I was just going to say. So, what are the plans for this year? I mean, what's your schedule look like? I know there's contests. I guess if you wanted to ride, there's contests and appearances every weekend you could be doing. I mean, what's your schedule look like?
Well, myself this year, I'm really trying to just really not focus on the whole demo world, doing nitro circuit stuff. That's really not me right now. I really want to push myself and progress my riding to the fullest and try to get in all the big contests and podium on them. So I got a full schedule this year coming. I start actually in 3 weeks. My first stop's in Australia, and then after that I'm off. I got a couple 8 European stops to do this year. So that's going to help me battle to become a world champion. And then other than that, I got another big project. It's a world's first with Red Bull. It's going to be a Robbie Madison stunt we're doing, and I'm really, really excited for it, but at the same time I'm very, very scared for it. I opened my mouth to Red Bull saying it's something I had an idea, and I didn't really think that they were going to bite it, but not even a month later they called me and said, hey, it's approved. We're going to start training right away. I was like, oh, wow.
This is, to me, I didn't know that. And hey, Jim, do you know this guy has probably the craziest, thickest compound hidden in the friggin', Canadian prairies over here of DC? Apparently you have one of the coolest compounds.
Yeah, for sure. I just from when I was younger racing, my family always had some acreage, so they let me build a little moto track, and then I started building a little arena cross track, and the next thing you know, I couldn't race anymore, so I started jumping freestyle, and one thing led to another. I had one jump, I built one, and as I got better in the sport, my dad's like, "Whoa, man, this kid's actually got potential," and he started giving me more freedom to pretty much destroy the land. And
now you got people lined up at the gate.
Oh man, trust me.
It's a foam pit. One of the few people. There's not very many foam pits out there.
No, I definitely like the motocross rider's dream facility. We have everything you can imagine out there. It's the best thing you could get for training.
He's got to put a hotel up and then, charge people to come and have a weekend stay at the, Hotel de Casa Demelo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
Well, we got to take a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll be talking some Supercross. You're welcome to hang out on the line if you want, Kyle, but we'll be back after these messages. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies, adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and man, we've had Branden Sims, Tyler McQuarrie, Ami Houde, Kyle Demelo. You guys still hanging out on the line? Kyle, check out. You guys still around? What's happening there?
Over here.
All right, sweet. Sorry, we got changing things up. This whole national syndication thing, I'm digging it, but we've got these spots, and when the spots hit, we gotta cut to break. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do want to talk real quick before we get into talking some Supercross. I want to finish up about that compound. So seriously, you were telling us about the compound, and I've seen some pictures that you've posted up. I think Amy showed me some stuff, but man, it does look insane.
Yeah, for sure. It's like I said, it is literally for any motocross kid, it is the dream place. Like, I'm just tucked away, just like 10 minutes out of town, halfway up to a ski hill. So not only do I have all my moto tracks and my freestyle park and my ramp, I got mountains and trails for days. Like, I can go.
And you can smuggle Americans in apparently, so you're like right by the American border.
I'm like right on the border.
You can touch the fence?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So, it's amazing.
Hey, Jim, we can smuggle you in.
All right. Yeah, that's what I laugh. We've had jokes about it. I've still never been to Canada. So, I need to just go up there. I know I told Hood, I said one of these days I'm just going to show up.
Sounds good.
So, nice. No, I definitely want to get up there, especially BC. I spend a ton of time. How far are you from Seattle? Because Dirtfish's in Seattle, and they're like my second home up there. I'm in Seattle all the time.
5 hours.
5 hours. That's not bad. I could probably swing that, go up there and shoot. If you wouldn't mind a bunch of ralliers, that I'm sure I could grab one or two in tow and come up there. So,
Jim, it would be my dream to see you jump into a foam pit on a dirt bike. Like, honestly, my life would be set and made. So we have to make that happen this year.
No, I'd love to. That's the one thing I never did. I spent plenty of time in a foam pit on a BMX bike, and actually we used to do a lot of lake jumping on BMX bikes, and that's how I learned a lot of tricks. I could backflip a BMX bike into a foam pit. Never did it to dirt. Never progressed that far, but I'm assuming the rotation is similar on a bike. I mean, I could probably. I'm not saying I'd get it right away, but I'm sure I could pick it up eventually. It's just been so damn long since I've been upside down on a BMX bike. We're talking like over 10 years that it would. I'd be a bit rusty.
Now you get it. It's honestly the easiest trick out there. It's really nothing to it. It's just all mental. No, it really is.
Well, that's when I was learning on a BMX bike. It was getting over the fear of going upside down. Once you fully commit, it's easy. It's just people are scared to fully commit and actually go upside down.
For sure. It's not like every other trick where like you can work up and take maybe 1 foot off at a time. It's like this trick, you have to, like, as soon as you leave the jump, you have to be 100% in. Otherwise, there's no half-assing it. Like, you've got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So that being said, Hood, I know you were out there finally making your debut at Supercross this year. I guess a debut, right? You finally made it out to one of the events. But I don't know, Dungy, I know the announcers are saying, I said it earlier in the show, but Dungy, I mean, he's a different Dungy this year. I mean, he's full on attack mode, man. He's rabid this year. It's just like he's going after it.
Yeah, man, he's whole shot and checking out every race. No one can touch him. He has no competition. He's been smooth and steady, but also aggressive. And we've always talked about the fact that we've never really seen Ryan be an aggressive rider and kind of go out there with a vengeance or charge. And he makes it look so effortless. But you know what? Now he makes it look like he is working for it and that he is the most talented guy out on the track. And he's putting a good show on. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he's one of the favorite people out there to watch, and he's just put in like win after win after win every weekend. Like, it's insane how consistent this guy is. he's setting the grounds to be one of the greatest of all times, and I can't wait to see his transition to outdoors this year because I truly think he's going to be untouchable, you know. And I don't want to discredit Cole Seeley because, I mean, man, this kid still semi as a rookie. I mean, I still kind of think Cole Seeley is a rookie because he was so, you know, had such a great 250 Supercross career. But, you know, I think Cole this year going to outdoors is just going to be a whole different rider on a different game. He's a lot stronger and looks, you know, way more fit and conditioned. Like, I think this guy is going to put it together for outdoors, hands down. But, you know, if you're looking right now, I was looking at the 450 Supercross, 450 standings, and man, gotta give it to my man, Jason Anderson. Hello, we've always talked about him being one of our favorites, Jim, but he's in a solid third place, like comfortable right now with 111 points, and I'm so stoked to see him out there. You know, he's just, we always talked about the progression of Jason Anderson, and he's been able to put it together, and, you know, coming out with a 450, like, solid third place championship, if he can hold it together for the rest of the year. I mean, Cole Seeley's right behind him, but what a great accomplishment for Jason this year. I'm really, really stoked, and it's just kind of paving the way for a really great longevity career in this industry. So,
yeah. And I look at Anderson, and you know, honestly, he really hasn't been on 450s long, you know, in the big scheme of things. But I look at him, and I mean, Dungey's another guy. I mean, he's always been fast, but you know, this year we're seeing him really come into his own. But I see Anderson as a guy. You know, I don't think he's as fast as. Give him 2 or 3 years, and I think he could be the next Dungey. I mean, I see Anderson, and I see that. You know, I think he's getting better and better. You know, every single event, and I see him. You know, I think his peak is still a couple years away, and I think we're going to see him. You know, I think he's a future champion, and I think, you know, he's got a lot of wins yet to come. I think, you know, he's just he's not quite there yet, you know, as far as his career, and that's a good thing. He hasn't peaked yet.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because when I think about it, like, no, he has not been on a 450 very long.
2 years, right? This is second year?
He was in the back of the pack on 250s. That, you know, when he first started out, like, he wasn't even that young, hot Kenner Oxen coming out of Germany, like, you know, kind of had that target on his back of going to be the guy to beat and stuff. Like, Jason is literally, and it's funny because you see most of these guys take one step at a time. You know, each year get, you know, one spot a little better, you know, made it from a top 10 to top 5. Jason makes like 10-step leaps at a time. I find you see him at the back of the pack, the front of the pack. Now he made this really successful jump to 450s, and next year I feel like he'll be defending that number 1 plate. Like, his progression is just so much bigger than most people, where it's just like a slow run up this hill where Jason's like jumping. Like, it's awesome to see. It's really cool, and I feel like there's a similar pace with Cole Seeley. I mean, he's ahead of guys like Eli Tomac and Marvin Muscan and Davey Millsap, who we expected to be at the top, you know, of the top of that grid this year, and they're just not. These guys who are coming out of 250s are just, you know, making huge strides in their program, and it's awesome to see. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, and let's talk real quick about Chad Reed. It's been a couple of weeks since we talked about him, but, you know, obviously he had...
We talk about him every weekend, okay?
Yeah,
don't get us wrong.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, everybody loves Chad Reed. He's just that guy, you know. Everybody wants to root for him. I mean, he had a couple rounds there in, you know, the first San Diego and then Anaheim where, you know, he was right there and you know, could taste it almost. But, I mean, I would say, you know, he had an off night. What did he finish, 8th or 9th? But even then, he's still in the top 10. I mean, you know, he's hanging around there 5th in points. He's, 2 points out of 4th. I mean, he's, you know, he could hit, you know, he could hit a stride here. I mean, what do we think about Reed? I mean, he's still there.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a comfortable 5th place right now, and he's right behind Tomac. I completely saw a different Tomac this weekend. He came out, I think he topped the box with the fastest lap time of the night. Just charging everybody, all the riders who were kind of in the crowd watching practice, like the 250 guys. They were just commenting on, you know, how Eli was out there looking like a completely different guy, and just he was doing jumps and obstacles that other people weren't. Like, he was one of the first guys to do this quad and blah blah blah. Like, he's finally, I think, figuring it out. I mean, he's made the transition to a different bike. He's now riding a Kawasaki, which I feel like he looks so much more comfortable on. I hate to say it because I'm such a, you know, Honda girl. I've always been, but he looks so much better. He looks like a young Ryan Villapoto on that Cali. it looks like he's like completely taken over his ride, and I hope Eli can put it together. But him and Chad Reed are actually tied right now for 5th and 6th in points, and they're not too far behind Seeley. Like if Chad could just hang in there, and we know that that's what he can do. He's all about consistency. That's what these veteran guys have over these young guns, is that consistency. He's only 2 points behind 4th. Like that's awesome. That's great for a guy that a lot of people thought was going to hang up his boots a year or two ago, and he's out here almost in 4th place overall in the 450 standings. Like, hands down, that's gotta give it to Chad Reed for sure.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to say is I got to give a lot of credit to the track builders, man. These courses this year, these tracks, it seems like I don't know, somebody this offseason said, hey, we need to do something this year to spice things up. And, I mean, even the whoop sections the past couple of weeks have been kind of gnarly, man. I mean,
they're so fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's so fun to – okay, I hate to say this, but it's so fun to watch the B groups go out there, or the LCQs, because it really just shows the difference between those top guys and these people who are trying to qualify, who are literally singling through the whoop sections, where you have these 450s commit and just, power through it, like floating on the top of the roller, like all the way through. And then you see these guys in the LCQs just singling through them. It just really shows that gap difference between, the level of, like, the playing field out there. It's crazy. And I like to see that. I like to see a challenging track that separates the boys from the men, that, you have that one obstacle on the track that you're just waiting for when you're watching the race, because that's where, like we saw that Cooper Webb and Christian Craig battle. Christian was so much more consistent through the rollers. We were just waiting for them to come up to it because you knew Christian was going to make some time on them. Like, I love seeing obstacles on the track like that you really pick out, that are man makers, I like to say. But, we have to talk about right now that there's only 3 rounds left of the 250 West Championship, and currently Joey Savacci is 3 points ahead of Cooper Webb. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that? Everybody thought that Cooper Webb was going to clean the field, wipe everybody's, butts out there. Like, I'm so stoked to see this shakedown, and we definitely have a battle to the finish, and I'm so stoked. It's going to be so good.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm like, we got to talk about 250s real quick because, Cooper was just done. I mean, he was gone, and we were like, Cooper's got this in the bag. And then, he has a really bad round in Oakland, or he only scores a point, and then boom, Savacci. I mean, we got a battle, 2 rounds left, in Texas, and then, Santa Clara. But I'm digging it. This is going to be great.
Yeah, and the DNF did obviously put him back a lot in points, but this weekend, what we saw was Cooper and Joey battling. They were riding together. Joey was out front, and everyone was like, "Oh no, Joey can't handle the pressure. Bobby, he's gonna make a mistake." And we've always seen Cooper have terrible starts, have to make his way through the pack. From an 8th place start, just picking guys off, and now Joey has this, extra boost of confidence where he's just riding without error out there. I find he looks so strong and like a completely different rider, and that's what winning a race will do to you. That will just completely step up your confidence. You will not get worried when this guy behind you, who's expected to win, like he doesn't care about that, and it really showed because Cooper cracked under the pressure. They were battling. They're coming in this nice flat track corner, and Cooper washed out, and that just goes to show that he could not handle the pressure. He couldn't put it together. So, and hats off to Joey for sticking it in there. And it was really cool to see. I'm pumped. Like, the crowd went nuts. And Cooper is a favorite. I mean, a lot of people out there rooting for him. He is a bit of an underdog, too. He's on not one of, like, the iconic team, I guess you would say, like the Monster Energy or the Red Bull team. But that the Star Racing Yamaha team is, solid with Jeremy Martin and Cooper Webb. They're kind of were the guys to beat this year. So it's just cool to see someone different. I love rooting for the underdog. I've always been that person who kind of cheers for the guy less, like Bopping. Okay, Lawson Bopping is my favorite rider out there because this guy's like making waves. We got to bring him on the show one time, but I always root for Lawson Bopping. And it's something similar with Joey. Just no one expected it, and seeing seeing how stoked he is on the podium and his emotion, and it's just so exciting to see. And a lot of times when Cooper wins, he's like, oh yeah, I knew I could do it, put it together, yeah. And you see Joey out there, and he's just thanking everybody, and just the emotions running high. It's good to see. So
yeah. All right, we got to cut to a break. Come back. We're going to wrap things up. Have fun out there, Amy, and we will talk to you next week, girl.
Okay, see you later, guys. Bye.
Thanks. We'll be back after this message here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The hotel is waiting. And your getaway is as close as Blue Water Resort and Casino's spring room special, starting at just $54.95. You'll be steps away from hot slot machines, table games, bingo, restaurants, lounges, the Blue Water Marina, golf, and more. Lee Greenwood hits the stage in the amphitheater Saturday, February 27th. Book your room today at BlueWaterFun.com or call 888-243-3360. Rooms starting at just $54.95. Now at Blue Water Resort and Casino in Parker, Arizona. Available Sunday through Thursday, February 1st through April 30th. Based on availability. Tax and resort fees are not included. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Excludes holidays, weekends, and special events.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, just wrapped up with Ami Houde. We had Kyle Demelo on before that. Tyler McQuarrie, Branden Sims, great show. And man, I got to tell you, lots of racing action coming up this weekend. We got the UTV World Championship kicking off for you desert heads. We got the Snore Battle at Prim. Also got some more Supercross on tap, and even looking a little bit farther out, we still got Snowcross going on. Mint 400, San Felipe 250, Red Bull Snow Boundaries this weekend. Hopefully we can get a winner from that on air as well. And, man, just a lot going. Got to give a big shout-out to Polaris RZR, Subaru, General Tire, Dirtfish Rally School, Blue Water Resort and Casino, Casey Highlights, MTX Audio, the official audio partner of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and Gibson Exhaust. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter, and give Amy a follow as well at Ami Houde 71. All those back episodes can be found at downanddirtyshow.com. And big shout out to all you fans who listen in each and every week. Be sure and download our app, available on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and the Amazon Kindle store. I will be on air this weekend. Down and Dirty Radio Show will be from the UTV World Championship. Be sure and tune into that. And I'll also be hosting out there, so look forward to hearing and seeing from you fans. As always a pleasure to be on air here on the Sports Byline Network. And be sure and tune in next week. We'll be bringing you more Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. As always, game on. See you next week.